I think anytime that somebody's calling in to get a flat toast set up, whether they're installing it themselves or we're installing it, I think the battery charge line should be recommended as part of that flat toast setup. Even though some braking systems have a battery charge line on them, I don't know if I trust them yet.
Okay. Yeah, that was going to be my question, is if there's any other alternative.
Like this car has the braking system in it that has a charge line, and they still got this charge line to put on it.
What braking system has the charge line?
Is this one the brake?
Yeah.
This is
for on the headlights. You really don't even need all that. That's the idea behind it.
The taillight circuit on the motorhome doesn't provide enough charge on some vehicles to overcome the power that the braking system's pulling out of the battery.
So the charge line here going to the battery is coming directly from the alternator on the motorhome, rather than coming from the braking system on the car. So it's getting more of a direct charge. That is how I see it. Getting more of a direct charge coming directly from the motorhome rather than coming from the braking system, from the motorhome through the braking system, then up to the battery.
I'm just curious. Is there a customer that? So it seems, like I said, it seems like a product that everybody should have. But if people are just taking short trips, if they go 30, 45 minutes away, are they also still at risk of having that battery dead? Or like, what's the kind of, from your experience, the amount of time it's going to take for that braking system to kill the battery?
It's going to be longer too.
It is. I don't know how many people are spending that much money on a flat tow setup to pull their car 35, 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
If they're doing something this kind of setup, they're probably, they might go 35, 40 minutes away, but they're also looking at going to other states and traveling.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was just trying to think of why somebody would not want one, I guess, even if they were made aware of it.
Some people won't have a problem at all with certain cars. In our experience, even if the master doesn't say you need a charge line kit, if it's a GM car, you probably won't.
Yeah.
Looks like maybe the Outback wagon's the same way.
I went through this situation last year. My wife and I, and my aunt and uncle, we took a trip to Memphis, which is only about 5 hours away, 5.5 hours. When we got there, the battery was dead. They had to go find a jump box to get their car started. So I kind of went through why he needed it.
Yeah.
Why he needed a battery charge line for it. So that's a perfect situation. I've actually used that in my videos.
I think that brings us back down to who is the neighbor, right? So they're the person that they're a little bit older. They've got discretionary funds. An extra, was it $29 or $30?
It's $32.02 currently.
So an extra $30 isn't anything to them if it's some frustration and time down the road. And when we talk to these customers, we continually tell them, hey, if you want the easiest to use setup, here's what I would use. And that's why, for a lot of times, the parts they purchase online, we switch out if they come into the shop, because we know from experience what they're going to use, what's easy.
So this is basically a $30 peace of mind where you get this and you know you won't have a problem with your battery when you arrive.
They would much rather spend the money up front now to save that problem than mess with the hassle of getting a jump or trying to jump their car off of their motorhome, which is difficult.
I can guarantee you, if they do it one time and decide not to get it, not spend that $30, and they get somewhere and they have to find some way to charge the battery or to jump start the car, they're going to come back and they're going to get the charge.
You have a lot of them do that. Oh, no, I don't need that.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, they're calling, yeah, remember when you said I needed that? I probably need that.
Yeah, it would seem to me that it would be something kind of more prevalent that people would be aware of and actively ask for, not have to be told. But
Yeah, so we make the customer aware of it if Roadmaster recommends it in their fit guide. We put it in our fit guide.
yeah,
If not, then it's kind of a upgrade. Not necessarily needed. It's personal choice, so we don't put it in the fit guide because we don't want customer service to tell them, oh, you got to have this because we have it in our fit guide. And then they find out later it was an option. That's what I was looking for.
That
Option.
makes sense.
yeah.
Is there a way to put it in the fit guide as optional?
Like highly recommend it.
Yeah, highly recommended, something like that.
Maybe we could add it as a note on the braking system pages. That's the reason why you might need it is the braking system. If you didn't need it otherwise. Like a lot of the Chevys, you got to have it even if you don't have a braking system. That's when Roadmaster puts it in their fit guide. If you have to have a charge line, even if you don't have a braking system.
And some cars have the key on in the on position to even have it in tow mode, so they definitely need a charge line kit. But even for vehicles that don't have to have the key, still you're still drawing power off that battery.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
And Shane, you said it's a really simple install.
Yeah. So, in my mind, finding a place to mount this is the hardest part of it. This car is pretty open, so there's quite a few places. So, you got to make sure wherever you mount it, nothing metal is going to touch these two pins on the circuit breaker because you are coming from the battery, and this is going to be hot. And then your other one runs down to the center pin on the 6-volt plug.
So that's the center plug on the 6-pole.
Uh-huh.
Are there many other options other than this Roadmaster one? Because I couldn't find many on the site. Are there others that you have installed?
The only other option is the motorhome side. So
Okay.
if your motorhome doesn't have a charge line in the connector on the back of it, you'd have to run the wire on the motorhome too. But nobody else really makes this kit. It's basically just enough wire to get from the front of the car to the battery and a circuit breaker and
Yep.
a few connectors. Yeah, as simple as it is, it's very customer-oriented type of product where they need to know why they need it.
Right.
So there really isn't anything to compare it to. What does the ultimate shopping experience look like? They figure out that they need it before they make their final purchase with customer service when they're online and it's in their cart. We give them some way of understanding that what it's for and why they need it.
There's been several times that I've done a plateau where I've actually had somebody call the customer and ask them if they want the charge line because they didn't get it, and to tell them why. 9 times out of 10, they usually get it to put it on. So
Yeah.
And what's the neighbor's ultimate goal?
Not have a dead battery.
Convenience.
Show up and go camping without having to charge your vehicle battery again.
get where you're going unhooked and be able to take your car wherever you need to.
Yeah, don't go, oh no. How do I solve this?
Yeah, that'll ruin your weekend real quick, I would think.
So how do we paint the picture?
I think a lot of it is just kind of trying to, paint the picture of like this is what could go wrong. You know, you could be embarrassed, you could be frustrated, you could lose hours on your weekend trip. That's just supposed to be relaxing. Like you're just trying to avoid all of these, potential downfalls for this, simple $30 part. Yeah. And Shane did a good job of that on his video. He kind of mentioned his situation where he had that happen. I think that's just as good as anything you could say is, this is what I did, this is what happened, this is what I had to deal with, and adding this part could have solved that problem before it happened.
Yeah, personal experience is awesome when it comes to this stuff. Anything I didn't think of?
I think that's it. I appreciate the time.
Mm-hmm.